Stop looking at your small yard as a limitation. Look at it as a canvas. What if I told you that the most breathtaking gardens are not the ones with acres of land, but the ones with the most creativity? Imagine turning a single pile of driftwood, a broken pot, or even old tires into a high-end floral masterpiece without spending a fortune. Today, we are not just gardening, we are reclaiming space. I am going to show you 13 ways to create a massive explosion of color in the tiniest of spaces, starting right now. Welcome to Home and Garden Borneo. In this video, we are transforming simple waste into rustic garden treasures perfect for small homes. I have included timestamps for every project, so feel free to jump to the design that speaks to you. If you have any questions about the materials or the process, please leave a comment. I am here to help. Now, let's get to work. One, the Driftwood Nest. Close your eyes and picture the journey of driftwood. It travels miles across the water, smoothed by the tides and bleached by the sun, carrying stories of the river within its grain. When we bring this wood into our garden, we are not just building a border. We are creating a sanctuary, a nest for new life. Imagine stacking these pale, weathered limbs in a soft circle, interlocking them like a natural embrace. Inside this wooden cradle, the earth is warm and waiting. Here, you place the seeds of the sun, vibrant zinnias or cosmos that reach upward with fiery enthusiasm. The contrast is where the magic lies. The gray, silent strength of the old wood holding the explosive, colorful fragility of the blooms. It is a reminder that beauty often rises from what we thought was lost. As the morning light hits the petals, the driftwood seems to glow, grounding the wild energy of the flowers. And just as the river flows around stones, let us let our creativity flow into something a little more fluid. Two, the spilled pot flow. Sometimes, the most beautiful things in life happen by accident. A spill, a tumble, a moment of letting go. Imagine a weary clay pot, perhaps one with a chip on its rim or a crack down its side, finally finding rest upon the soft grass. Instead of discarding it, we embrace its imperfection. By tipping it onto its side, we transform it into a vessel of abundance. Picture a stream of tiny blue lobelias or white alyssum pouring out from its mouth, cascading across the ground like a slow-moving river of living color. It mimics the flow of water, cooling the eyes even on the hottest afternoon. This design speaks of generosity. It is a cup that forever runneth over. It reminds us that nature does not hoard its beauty. It spills it forward for everyone to see. And as this river of petals settles into the earth, our eyes are drawn upward, spiraling toward the sky. 3. The spiral herb and flower tower. Nature loves a spiral. From the shell of a snail to the spinning galaxy above us, this shape whispers of eternity and growth. Imagine bringing that ancient geometry into your own backyard using nothing but simple river stones or forgotten bricks. Picture building a staircase for your plants, winding upward toward the light. This stone tower creates a mountain in miniature. As you stack the stones, you create pockets of warmth where sun-loving herbs like thyme and rosemary can thrive side by side with bright marigolds. It is a marriage of the practical and the beautiful, a living sculpture that smells of earth and spice. There is a deep satisfaction in placing stone upon stone, creating order out of chaos. It draws the eye upward, lifting the spirit, proving that even in the smallest footprint, you can reach for the sky. But sometimes, instead of looking up, we need to build something solid, square, and reminiscent of home. Four, the log cabin planter. There is a deep nostalgia in the scent of cut timber, a memory of childhood when we built imaginary worlds with simple wooden blocks. This design taps into that primal desire for shelter and structure. Imagine interlocking these sturdy limbs, one over the other, creating a fortress for your most precious blooms. This is the log cabin for the garden inhabitants. The walls are thick and protective, holding the soil's moisture close, creating a cool sanctuary even when the summer sun beats down. Inside this rustic embrace, plants like sunflowers or gladiolus can stand tall, like sentinels guarding a castle. The contrast here is striking, the immovable weight of the logs grounding the fleeting, delicate dance of the flowers above. It feels permanent, honest, and undeniably strong. But while some beauty is found in straight lines and sharp corners, other kinds of beauty prefer to meander, following the soft, curving path of a river. Five, the river rock outline. In nature, there are rarely straight lines. Rivers bend, coastlines curve, and clouds drift in soft, billowing shapes. We can bring this organic peace into our garden by letting go of the rigid square and embracing the curve. Imagine taking smooth, heavy river stones, cool to the touch and shaped by centuries of water, and laying them gently on the grass. You are drawing a picture on the earth, outlining a kidney shape or a gentle wave that defines a space without building a wall. It feels open, accessible, and incredibly zen. Inside this stone outline, low-growing flowers like petunias or begonias create a carpet of color that seems to float on the green lawn. It is a design that whispers rather than shouts, proving that boundaries can be beautiful. It grounds us, connecting us to the soil beneath our feet. But sometimes, to find beauty, we must look at what we have discarded and give it a second chance to bloom. 6. The Tire Blossom Stack. Consider the tire. Born from industry, built for the rough asphalt, and often destined to be forgotten. But here, in the hands of a gardener, it finds a softer purpose. Imagine taking these rugged black circles and giving them a new skin, perhaps a coat of soft white paint, or simply letting the green vines soften their harsh edges. Stacked in tiers, they become a tower of resilience. The deep tread, once meant to grip the road, now grips the soil, holding moisture and warmth for the roots within. When bright geraniums or trailing vines spill over the rubber rims, the past is forgotten. It is a story of redemption, proving that nothing is truly waste until we decide it is. It is a bold statement that life can bloom anywhere, even in the footprint of a machine. And speaking of transforming the discarded, imagine capturing the light of the sun in a vessel made of glass. Seven. The glass bottle border. There is a hidden magic in glass, sand melted by fire, transformed into something that can hold the light. We often toss away empty bottles without a second thought, but imagine giving them a second life in the soil. Buried neck down, shoulder to shoulder, they form a shimmering ribbon that defines your garden space. When the afternoon sun hits them, they don't just act as a wall, they glow. Shades of emerald green, deep amber, and clear crystal light up like stained glass in a cathedral of earth. It turns a simple border into jewelry for your garden. This barrier warms the soil for the roots tucked behind it and offers a smooth, clean contrast to the wild textures of the marigolds or zinnias within. It reminds us that beauty is often just a matter of perspective, how we choose to catch the light. But sometimes, we need a structure that feels a bit more grounded, something that speaks of the forest floor. Eight. The hollow stump planter. In the forest, nothing ever truly ends. It only changes form. A tree that has fallen is not a tragedy, but an invitation. Imagine finding an old stump, weathered by rain and time, its center slowly returning to dust. This is nature's own pot, crafted by the elements. By filling this hollow heart with soil, you create a living sculpture. Picture vibrant impatiens or delicate ferns bursting from the top, their roots cradled by the decaying wood which feeds them slowly, season after season. It is a poetic cycle, life rising from what came before. The rough, mossy bark acts as a perfect frame for the tender, bright blooms, a study in textures that no plastic container could ever mimic. It grounds your garden in history and wildness. And as we weave nature into our homes, let us consider another way to weave natural materials. Nine. The woven branch border. Before we had bricks or sawmills, our ancestors knew the strength of the weave. Imagine gathering flexible branches, willow, hazel, or even vines found in the wild, and rhythmically passing them between upright stakes. Over and under, over and under. It is a meditation in motion. The result is a wattle fence, a technique as old as gardening itself. It creates a basket for the earth, a warm, textured embrace that holds the soil in place while letting it breathe. It looks almost like a bird's nest unfurled. When you plant tall, swaying cosmos or daisies behind this woven wall, they lean over it like curious neighbors. It feels incredibly cozy, a soft boundary that works with nature rather than against it. It is a reminder that strength doesn't always have to be rigid. Sometimes, it just needs to be flexible. And speaking of using what is broken to build something new, the broken concrete urbanite bed. We often see a cracked sidewalk or a demolished patio as rubble, heavy, gray, and useless. But look closer. These broken pieces, often called urbanite, are just modern stones waiting for a mason's hand. Imagine lifting these heavy, jagged chunks and fitting them together like a giant puzzle. As you stack them, the gray industrial edges soften. You fill the gaps with soil, inviting moss and creeping time to stitch the wounds together. Slowly, the harsh concrete transforms into a rugged, dry-stacked wall that looks like it has stood for 100 years. When you top it with bright orange calendula or deep blue sage, the contrast is breathtaking. It is a story of reclamation, taking the heavy debris of the city and softening it with the gentle touch of the garden. It proves that even the hardest things can be made beautiful. But sometimes, we want to lift our garden up off the ground entirely. The vintage ladder stand. A ladder is usually a tool of labor, a means to reach something just out of our grasp. But in the garden, we can invite it to retire. Imagine an old wooden stepladder, its paint peeling to reveal the stories of years past, standing quietly in the corner of your patio. It is no longer for climbing, it is for lifting. Each step becomes a stage, a platform for a different performer. On the bottom, perhaps a heavy pot of basil. In the middle, a bright splash of geraniums. And at the very top, a trailing ivy that reaches back down toward the earth. It creates a waterfall of greenery in a space no wider than your shoulders. It teaches us that you don't need a sprawling field to have a multi-layered garden. You only need to change your elevation. And as we look for other ways to create pockets of life in small spaces, let us imagine something even more contained. The Pallet living wall. The wooden pallet is a traveler. It carries goods across oceans and highways, supporting the weight of the world's commerce. But when its journey ends, it often lies forgotten. Imagine rescuing this humble frame and standing it upright, not as a tool of transport, but as a canvas for life. By closing the back and filling the slats with earth, you create a vertical tapestry. It solves the riddle of the small garden by growing up instead of out. Picture rows of happy pansies, violas, or kitchen herbs peering out from the wooden gaps, like tenants in a green apartment building. It turns a bare wall into a living mural. The rough wood, once industrial and cold, becomes warm and organic as it disappears behind a curtain of leaves. It reminds us that structure is just the beginning. It is the life we add to it that makes it a home. And finally, let us look at one last way to create a tiny world within a world. "13. The Broken Pot Fairy World." We end our journey with the smallest, yet perhaps the most profound idea of all. When a pot breaks, our instinct is to sweep it away. But in the garden, a break is not an end. It is an opening. Imagine taking those jagged shards and arranging them like a staircase winding up a mountainside, all within the embrace of the remaining clay shell. You are building a world within a world. On these tiny terraces, you plant the smallest succulents, lay down carpets of velvet moss, and perhaps place a tiny bench. It invites the eye to pause, to lean in close, and to wonder. This miniature landscape tells us that even when things fall apart, they can be reassembled into something new, something with more depth and character than before. It captures the very essence of gardening, the patience to see potential where others see ruin. So, whether you are stacking driftwood, weaving willow, or mending a broken pot, remember that your garden is your canvas. Go out there, get your hands dirty, and create your own slice of paradise. As we wrap up today, remember that the most beautiful gardens aren't the ones with the biggest budget, but the ones with the most heart. You don't need acres of land to create a masterpiece. Sometimes, all you need is a single broken pot and a little bit of imagination. Whether you decide to build the driftwood nest this weekend or just save a few glass bottles for later, you are taking the first step to turning your small space into a sanctuary. If you found a spark of inspiration in these 13 ideas, please hit that like button. It helps YouTube share this inspiration with other creative gardeners around the world. And if you want more budget-friendly projects that transform trash into treasure, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a build from Home and Garden Borneo. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you have a dead corner or a tricky spot in your yard that you just can't figure out? Tell me about it in the comments below. Describe the space, the soil, or the problem. Let's brainstorm a solution together. I read every comment, and I'd love to help you pick the perfect design for your home. Go create something beautiful, and I'll see you in the next video.